Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? It is 12:19 p.m. Mountain Time on Tuesday, July 6th, and I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. And we are at the point we've been waiting for about 45 days, about a month and a half now. If you've been watching these videos, been expecting this point to come. And I'm going to talk to you about that, and I'm going to talk to you about 7 DeFi coins. I'm also going to tell you why I'm not looking super confident when it comes to Bitcoin, things that we need to see happen, and some possible things that could happen with altcoins taking a run if Bitcoin remains sideways. So let's get into that right after I remind you that none of this is to be considered financial advice. I am just a trader. I am not a financial advisor. Anything in this video is to be considered informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. But I do have my opinions. I want to share those with you. And if I could remind you that if you do like these videos, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm this close to 200 subscribers. I'd like to get there, but I would appreciate it greatly. So let's get right into it. So everything here is technical, right? Because we are in a bear market, and whether that lasts a day, a month, or a year, we could always come out of it, but currently, down 50% from the highs, for this long, and with the 50 crossing below the 200, I consider that a bear market. Some people might consider a bear market having to last a year or two or whatnot. It could last an hour for all I care. But since we're here, we're looking at technicals. Technicals are going to lead the fundamentals. No news has really brought any significant movement to the price of Bitcoin. So, all right. First thing I look at, are there any recognizable patterns? When I first look at this, does anything jump out at me? Well, yes. We have this left shoulder here, this head here, and this right shoulder here. And best case scenario for us is move sideways, maybe a slow churn upwards. I don't see any straight shots upwards unless some huge news came out. But we're seeing more and more adoption, aside from China, which probably outweighs half the world in their usage in Bitcoin and their mining in Bitcoin. And we've just continued to move sideways. It's kind of a big range, 28,800 to like almost 42,000. So very, very large range, but we are still sideways. The longer sideways we move, the better. The longer sideways we move, the better. There's nothing else to say there. So recognizable pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Talked about this a couple times. Second pattern that's recognizable is this small bear flag here. So we are in a bear flag. Not a lot of downside on the pole of the flag, but you can see moving slightly upward like this. Now that's not so great because the volume's pretty low, about the lowest that it ever really has been. So also not super great, although if we continue to move flat, could just be signaling an accumulation period. So here's the point that we have been waiting for. Right? About a month and a half ago, started saying, we're going to move sideways. 50 is going to cross the 200. We're going to break sideways through the 50 after maybe receiving a little downward pressure from it. And then we're going to come up and test the 200, get rejected, come down, and that time 50 is going to curl up, put upward pressure on the price of Bitcoin, then we're going to test that 200 again and break through it. That would be great. Things have changed a little since then. I just see, with these bearish patterns, the low volume, the lack of any good news having any significant upward momentum on the price, the permabull YouTubers still haven't called it a bear market, so I still think that we could see a little downside. Honestly, that's why I haven't gone so big, is because there is so much indecision still. There's really no way to know what Bitcoin is going to do now, but the indicators, a couple patterns here that are bearish patterns. The indicators, like the stochastic RSI, been pretty consistent. You can see at the high point here, we hit a high, dropped down to a low, came up to a high, dropped down to another low, high, low, right? It's been pretty consistent. So you can see we're kind of on the higher end, maybe move up a little more, before, if we even do drop back down. But nothing really telling. I'd rather be buying when it's down here. So that just tells me that we could potentially have another drop. Maybe that's the drop to 24,000 or something like that. Hope not. I do have a little bit. I am about 65-70% cash still, but I do have some. I'm willing to buy above 42,000 if I have to minimize my risk. Anyways, another thing I like to use just in the long term, just for long term, is the Ichimotu Cloud. It's a collection of indicators, kind of predicting where you'll see resistance or support, and yeah, so it's worked out pretty well in the past. If we go 5 years back, it comes down below the cloud and it turns. Let's not go that far back. It's not something I use a whole lot, but for the longer term stuff, you can see we dropped down below and we just fell right off. Bull market was essentially ended, at least for the time being. Now we have this. Might as well go back to this, where we could see some resistance here. It's right where the 50-day moving average is. I'd like to see back above it, maybe some sideways through it and then back above it. But anyways, not to get too much into that. For the longer term, sometimes I like to look at that. Futures chart, we filled the gap. That's the good news. Bad news is we are below the 200-day moving average. As you know, the futures charts I only like to use for those gaps. We do have a gap still up here at 48,370. That'd be great to see that. Maybe it's a future thing. Maybe we see it and then we head back down. I don't know yet. Too far out to tell. Bitcoin dominance, nothing really going on here. Nothing really telling. Bitcoin dominance is dropping. Altcoins are having a pretty good day. So, we are at the low end that Bitcoin dominance has ever seen, the lower end. So maybe that continues to drop. Maybe that's some altcoins in there. And let's look at the altcoin market. So, we are above the 200-day moving average. We are looking at some resistance here, where we're seeing support, and then some resistance, and we're seeing more resistance here. So we'll probably see some resistance with that level of, what is that? The market cap of 810.302 billion. And you could also see, we've seen similar pattern with the stochastic RSI. That gets to the top, we see a top, gets to the bottom, top, bottom. So been pretty consistent, been a pretty good indicator through this cycle. You see bottom here, then we run up here, and we're at the top now, so I'm expecting another sell-off. Now, let's look into the altcoins, right? So Dogecoin, been pretty weak, very weak, and, I could see it coming down more. One thing is, back here, Elon Musk tweets and it goes up. Right here, Elon Musk tweets, it goes up. I think he tweeted like once or twice, and we've just been doing nothing. The things that took off were the baby Doge, the mini Doge, and the baby Doge Cash, the junk ones that, people just caught on to that, you can't short them anywhere. Just catch a little hype and they go up, and they're selling off now from what I saw about 30 minutes ago, but we'll see what happens. I don't expect much out of Doge. We had this head and shoulders here and kind of sideways downward action. This is kind of what, we want to see out of Bitcoin, is not so much the downward action and the rejection and the low volume, but we want to see the sideways action out of this head and shoulders pattern. We hit a low here of 16,322. No recognizable bullish patterns or bearish patterns, just kind of fading. And looking at the indicators, the stochastic RSI still can come down. Where it bottomed out last time was around the 200-day moving average. Maybe we come back down and retest 17 cents or something like that with the low volume. Could potentially break through that. So moving on, Dogecoin's a big indicator for the market as a whole too. This has been a pretty well factored part of the Bitcoin and crypto move that we've seen since midway through 2020 in the last year, essentially. So it's a pretty important one to watch, and you can see that we have this resistance where we saw support here, even though it broke through, broke back above it, support here, broke down below it. Now we're seeing some resistance again right here. 50-day moving average moving down, could potentially push it down. It's just not looking good, but who knows? Sometimes that's the time when Elon just, the volume's dead and Elon just buys it up. I'm not going to make a decision based on what I think Elon's going to do. Anyways, moving on to Ethereum, which has been, looking a little stronger than Bitcoin, but same types of things. We have this head and shoulders right here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Maybe we already broke down from it and we're going to see some sideways action, maybe break through 50-day moving average sideways. Just still really don't know. No other real recognizable patterns, and stochastic RSI, which has been consistent, at the top. So here's a top here, drop down to the bottom here, seeing a bottom here, kind of a double top here. So been pretty consistent, not broken through the 50-day yet. So waiting for that. So looking a little stronger than Bitcoin, but not so much. So these DeFi projects, Ethereum being one of them, have seen some good moves today. You see, just to scroll through, SushiSwap 14%. It's a decentralized exchange. Year in Finance is like a yield farming or staking DApp cryptocurrency, up 13%. Chainlink, which connects, DeFi doesn't exist essentially without Chainlink, connects everything, 10%. Uni, 14.9%. Alpha, the biggest gainer today, 38%. 1inch, 14%, and Aave, 7%. It looks like some of them sold off a little bit since I started this video, but SushiSwap, you're going to see something pretty similar out of all of these, is that we have a long-term resistance, that has acted as resistance and support. This must be the Coinbase chart. So yeah, it hasn't been on there super long, but you can see support turned into resistance, and now it's resistance again, and the 50-day moving average. So you have some strong resistance to break through. Stochastic RSI is at the top. MACD is flipping over. You do see some really good volume though. So if we do break through this, and we break through the 50-day moving average, we continue this high, nice volume, that's great. That's buying on strength. Okay. YFI, same thing. It's long term. See, I could probably even draw this out even longer, and it makes sense. So yeah, move that down just a hair. You can see like support, boom, resistance, and the 50-day moving average. But nice volume, good volume, higher than any day since really June 22nd. So similar to that, breakthrough on high volume, that would show strength. Chainlink, similar thing. Let's see, does this go any further back? So looking, yeah. Whoop. So support here, even some resistance right here. Back here, resistance here, support, boom, broke through. So now can we break back up through it and through the 50-day moving average on preferably high volume? So that's the test right now. If not, you're also looking at, kind of a bear flag right here. I'll just draw this very sloppy. Okay, boom, bear flag right there. So pretty sloppy, not exact lines, but it is a bear flag. We are under resistance and we are under both moving averages. So a lot of work to be done there still. Nice gain though on the day. So Uniswap, one of the best gainers on the day. This could be, potentially reversing. I don't know. Look at the MACD, but still seeing the same thing. Where is our resistance? Probably right. Nope. So we're seeing it right at the 50-day as well. So we're seeing support here, a bounce back above. Little better than the other ones because you see a lot of See some resistance right there, and we kind of broke through that. Not kind of, we did, and on good volume. So Uniswap looking a little better, and we're above the 50-day, but now we have the 200-day, which is a stronger resistance. So Uniswap probably one of the better looking ones so far. Still got some work to do. Alpha, probably the best looking one. We do have, you could see where it hit, and that's why I chose this instead of right here, is because it hit directly on this line where we showed support, resistance, and now we're showing resistance again. Did break through the 50, right? Now we're at this resistance. We are on high volume, very high volume. Looks like highest ever, except for back here, but dollar volume, it's probably a lot higher. So very high volume, coming off the bottom. And then the 200-day moving average around $1.21. So alpha is looking really strong. It's already up 37%. Hard to buy into something that's already up 37%, but it's looking like if we break through this level past the high of the day today, 89 cents, we could potentially see this $1.21. So you can maybe see like a 30% gain on the breakout. So 1 inch. Same type of thing, 50-day moving average, running into resistance. Ave, same type of thing. See support here. Didn't quite make it up to resistance and then stopped there. But with Ave, another one of the stronger ones, very good volume, very good volume. Past the 200, see if it holds. It's already past the 50. So if Ave is to tell you something about some of these other ones, right? If it's, the whole crypto market tends to move together in unison, then you could use Ave as maybe a factor to make an educated guess on, well, it got to the 50, and the next day it opened above it, and, well, not quite above it, but it broke through it. And if you're looking at, what was it, Uniswap, maybe Wi-Fi, Sushi. So if we get up there and we, 1 day high volume, you had this 1 day high volume, and then you follow up with another day high volume, it could be an indicator on what's going to happen with some of these other ones. So anyways, that is everything. DeFi leading the sector. You can see 54% gains in DeFi, whereas you're seeing, I'm sure there's some higher ones. KuCoin, another exchange token, 32.7% leading the way. Looked like some things kind of, well, not necessarily fell off, but yeah. Pretty nice day for altcoins. Bitcoin, just kind of waiting. So that's where I'm at. Still a lot of indecision. Still have my position from the 5 buys I've made between 33 and 37,000. I'll keep that. That's a risk I'm willing to take, even with the bearish signals. But it's for building a longer term position. If I'm 30% confident, then I'm not going to be any more than 30% invested. So that's about where I'm at. So if we do break down, I have my buy areas at 24,000 and 18,000. I don't think we see below 20,000, just because, like I said before in a previous video, we have never broken the previous halving cycle's high, which was like 19,970 or something like that. So don't expect us to go that low. I think we're pretty close if we're not already. At a bottom, we're seeing massive support around the 30,000 area, even though we did crack below it. Massive support there. So some things to be confident about, more things to not be confident about. Just slowly building a position for me, and for my trades, it's take profits early, and if I'm in profit, especially if it's significant, move my stop loss up into profit so I don't turn a gain into a loss, because that, I'm sure, is happening to a lot of people, myself included, when I don't do that. Past weekend, Dogecoin was a small loser, Bitcoin was a small winner, Cardano was a decent winner, and that's all I traded. Yesterday I was out of in the mountains, so I didn't really pay attention much yesterday. But still, boring's good. No need to force things. No need to get complacent. Just be patient. Wait for Bitcoin to show direction. and hopefully we see some things, whether it's one way or another. Just want to see, which direction are we heading. I think in the long term we're heading up. You see all the adoption and everything like that. If we break out of this and we break through the 50, then I'll really turn a lot more bullish, just because my original thought from about a month and a half ago will be playing out. So that's where I'm at. Again, if you did like this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate it greatly. I'd love to get to 200. It may not seem like a lot for many people, but I put a lot of thought, time, and energy into these videos, and I think that they've helped guide some people pretty well through this market. I'm sure we've made some mistakes along the way, but as long as we're practicing risk management and having a plan, I think that we'll get through this sideways choppy action. So again, please hit the like, hit the subscribe. Other than that, I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.